What's up, fam? Excuse me. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Let's wait for people to come in. How's everybody doing? How was your weekend? What's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Excited to tap in with you guys today. We're going to be talking about the astrology of the week, and we're going to pull in some cards. We're here. We made it to Aries season. It's the astrological new year. We have Sun Saturn coming into a conjunction. We just came out of our eclipses. Mercury went direct 3 days ago. Mercury went direct on the 20th. So we're like in this new season, this new timeline. We are in this period of kind of like beginnings, initiation. Also a big word that came to me was individuation and being an individual. So before I came onto the live today, I was kind of feeling into just like asking spirit, like what are some messages or what are some insights that I can give people that's gonna be very valuable. And one of them was becoming like a strong, independent individual. It's like knowing who you are, being confident in your identity, being confident in your independence. And this is a big thing that's like super important because attached to that message of like becoming a strong, independent person was knowing yourself and loving yourself and developing a strong foundation of self. Like this is super important. Everybody coming in, welcome. We're just talking. I'm just talking about some energetic downloads or some downloads that I got before I came onto the live and then I connected to the Aries season as well because what I was saying is I was asking Spirit like to give me some messages for people, and the message that came through was being a strong individual, being a strong independent individual, and people learning how to be independent. Like people learning how to be self-sustaining this season. People learning how to like do for themselves, take care of themselves, like things like this. But the other thing that came through. Everybody coming in, welcome. Thank you for being here. The other message that came through was developing a solid foundation of self. So, kind of like knowing who you are, loving who you are, becoming deeply passionate about your identity, and also incorporating the parts of the self or the aspects of the self that we don't really like or that we tend to neglect or that are more, these aspects of the self, these parts about the self that it's like we don't there's parts about ourselves that we don't like, all of us, right? We all have, there's something that we do, there's the way that we look, there's the way that we respond to things. Maybe it's an insecurity thing, maybe it's like, I wish I was more confident, I hate how shy I am, I hate how timid I am. Maybe it's like, oh, I hate how sensitive I am, whatever. You have to incorporate these parts about you that you're not sending love and light and you're not bringing into your person. And the reason why this is important, the reason why Spirit brought this up as a message is because when you have aspects of your identity that you're resisting or that you don't want to bring into your person and become whole, you feel you're going to be like torn in different directions as like a person. Like you're going to have different aspects of your ego or your identity, your personality that are like fighting each other. And this creates a lack of peace within the individual. Like this creates like a restlessness when it comes to identity. And like then there's days where we like love ourselves and there's days when we like hate ourselves. And there's days when we love ourselves and days where it creates like inconsistency and instability around how you see yourself, around your sense of self-worth, around your identity, around your ego. And it's really important to send love and light and to incorporate and invite to the table the parts about you that you do not like or that, you judge or that you're hard on yourself about or that you feel like you got to outgrow, whatever. The only way to heal that or to evolve it or whatever is to invite it to the table. You got to invite all of you to the table and be like, okay, we're all going to dine together. We're going to learn about each other. We're going to talk about each other, and we're all going to become a family, right? And this is like, I want you guys to really think about this. Like, this idea that you have all these different parts about you within you, right? And your goal is to make all these different parts about you a harmonious family. So they can all eat together, they can wake up together, right? So that one part of you isn't pulling you in this direction, another part of you is pulling you in this direction, and then you want to do this. It's like, it's like all of a sudden your intrinsic environment is a chaotic family environment. There's no organization, there's no structure, there's no goals, there's no ambition, there's no direction, there's no also unified focus when it comes to like, your person. You're being pulled in different directions. One day you want to do this, one day you want, it's like slow down. Focus on yourself. Think about who you are. Become solid as an individual. Get to know yourself a little bit more. Love yourself a little bit more. Send light and love and healing to the parts about yourself that you do not like, or that you've been rejecting, or that you've been denying, or that you've been avoiding, or even that you are projecting outwards, right? Another thing that we do, human beings in our crazy minds, is a lot of the stuff, a lot of times, you know, the judgment and the spite that we have towards others. Oh, like I don't like how they're like this, and I don't like how they're like that. Baby, guess what? That's you. That's a mirror. You're like, oh, this person is so, selfish, and this person is so self-interested, and blah, 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 blah. Maybe it's time to take a look in the mirror. Maybe they're triggering or illuminating a shadow that's within you. That's something about yourself that you don't like. Okay? The ego has a very funny way of projecting its sense of self onto others. And what it doesn't like in itself, it doesn't like in others. That's literally how the ego works. For those of you that haven't taken a psychology class, highly recommend you take some psychology classes. You'll learn a lot about your personality. You'll learn a lot about your identity. You'll learn a lot about how identity works, especially in the space between yourself and someone else. Okay? A lot of times the issues in the chat and the problems that you have with others are actually issues and problems that you have with yourself. And this is one of the beautiful things that psychology teaches us. And so, get to know yourself this Aries season. Fall deeply in love with all of you this Aries season. Take everything upon you. Like, stop blaming your parents, stop blaming your past, stop blaming your ex that did this, and that to you. Stop blaming the institutions, stop blaming, like the society you grew up in, stop blaming your education, stop blaming that teacher that you had when you were in fourth grade, stop blaming your city. Like, there needs to be this energy of like, wait, no, we take a look at ourselves and we hold ourselves accountable to who we are. We're not going to sit here and go ahead and project this lack of consistency, this lack of stability, or this lack of unknowing of the self onto other people. We're too old for this. We're too spiritually aware for this. Okay? Those that are not following the spiritual path, those that lack self-awareness, those that are living, in a state of ignorance, okay, that's for them. And that's not for you. That's not the way that you're living your life. That's not the way that you're experiencing your life, right? So it's really important that we kind of really stand in the power of our identity this Aries season, that we get to fully love ourselves. And also this is so interesting. This is a message is coming through. Your identity, who you are, a lot of times is a political act. Like, just your existence is a statement. Just you being and existing here, for some of us, is a statement. It's a political act, and it's enough, you know. And I think we live in a culture that's so focused on productivity and doing. And when we, as spiritual people, as spiritually minded people, are in a space of nothingness, getting to know the self, the work is not in the outside world. The work that we're doing is more in the inside world. It can be very difficult and very, very hard to resist this pressure from external society, or even from like family, from others, of like, you need to be productive, you need to be doing right now, right? But for a lot of folks, that's not where the work is at right now. The work is actually in here. It's in here. Okay. It's the relationship with the body, the relationship with the self. It's, a spiritual thing, it's an emotional thing. So, we put so much expectation of ourselves to be these like Protestant, hyper productive members of society. We got to have these goals, and we got to have these dreams, and we got to be making money, and we got to be achieving, and we got to be career oriented, and we got to be successful, and we got to blah, 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 blah. Baby, guess what? You can't do any of that if you don't know yourself. You can't do any of that if you don't love yourself. You can't do any of that if you don't even know what you want. You don't even know who you are. Like, you're not even solid and consistent within yourself. How you expect to go out in the world and build and achieve when the vehicle that you're driving, which is your body, your identity, your ego, yourself, ain't even prepared for that? Ain't even ready for that. You're over here trying to go and get on the freeway, baby. You ain't even got a driver's license yet. You ain't even learned how to drive on the, when on just like a regular street. You're still learning how to drive. So relax, slow down, take a chill pill. Sometimes just existing is enough, And sometimes that's your work. God is like, Spirit is like, listen, I just need you to exist. I just need you to sit with yourself and get to know yourself. We love to run from ourselves, right? We love to run from ourselves to avoid the work that we got to do within ourselves. So I see this a lot. We see this a lot. A lot of people, they avoid their self, they avoid their inner work by getting overly involved in other people's lives, by doing too much for others, by going to work every day, staying at work 10, 11 hours a day to avoid what's going on at home, to avoid what's going on with their family life, to go and avoid what's going on with their personal life. We find different ways to avoid and escape, right? And distract ourselves from the work that needs to be done. Don't do that this Aries season, okay? We have the Sun and Saturn together. Take a cold, hard look at yourself and be like, you know what? There's these parts about myself that I love, and there's these parts about myself that I hate. And be honest with the parts of yourself that you hate. And be like, and you got your work is, can I love these parts about myself that I hate? These parts about myself that I feel are inadequate. These parts about myself that I feel are holding me back from the best version I can be, baby. No, you need that. You came into this life with all these challenges and difficulties and with all these gifts and these talents with both, okay? Because you're meant to turn lemons into lemonade, my love. Okay? You were given a certain deck of cards and that's what you got to work with. You got to make the best of it. And let me tell you, I've seen people, I do a lot of readings. I talk to a lot of people, and I've been doing readings before I was even doing readings. I was talking to people and getting to know people and helping people when I was in banking, long before I got into this work. Okay, long before I got into this work. And where was I going with this? Oh, and I've seen the most difficult, challenging charts or people who've had the most, oh my God, just horrible life circumstances turn their life into the most tastiest glass of lemonade. Okay. And they were given rotten lemons, right? And like all of it, and they just turned that challenge and that difficulty and that hardship into a life of beauty and a life of success and a life of achievement, right? And a life of meaning. And I want you guys to think about this, okay? Because we tend to, we tend to be like, oh, my life is so hard, my life is so difficult, so I can't. No, but the reason why you signed up for that hard, challenging life is because you're able to and you're capable. And that's what's and like the harder the better, you know what I mean? Like that's how I feel, Like make it hard for me. Make it difficult for me. Thank you for that because it's going to refine me. It's going to let me know what I'm capable of. It's going to push me to my limits so I can really see what I can do, right? A lot of times that's the way it works. Spirit has to strip everything away, has to test you, has to put you through the most difficult circumstances so that you know what you're capable of, so that you know what you're capable of overcoming, so that you know what you're capable of achieving. How would you know unless you were tested? Let's pull some cards up. Let's see what Spirit has to say for the week. Okay. Damn. I'm gonna put those cards back. Some cards fall out, and I was like, "Oh damn, never mind. Let me go ahead and put these cards. Let me do a reshuffle. It'll be funny if those cards came back out again, though." Welcome everybody. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope your Monday's going great. So we're gonna be looking at the astrology, but for now, we're gonna do some tarot real quick, okay? Monica. That's awesome. Cards are like, oh no, not those. We're not taking those. Oh no, no, no. Okay, let's go and pull these cards. Spirit, what kind of guidance do we have for the people? Ooh, we got the Empress in reverse. Ooh, I love that. Empress in reverse. Okay. Empress in reverse. We got the Eight of Pentacles. Y'all are concerned. People are worried about money right now. People are worried about money, their career, what they got to do. People are like, oh my God, I got so much to do. I got to do this and I got to do that. It's like, it feels like we have these like goals and these tasks and these like things that we want to do, but it's like so big and so large. Like, oh my God, I gotta get to the moon. Like, how am I gonna get to the moon? Oh my God, like I gotta go ahead and it's like it just feels like insurmountable tasks or work or goals, like dreams that are like too heavy and too big and they seem like impossible. It's like, wait, I gotta climb Mount Everest. Oh my God, it just feels like this work. And you know what it feels like? It feels like the overwhelm of work and like the weight of the dream is like shutting us down. It's like it's too much to carry, you know? Like, oh, I gotta climb Mount Everest. Like, oh, I can't even get out of my couch, get off my couch. You know, it feels like that. It's like this, the weight and the heaviness of like success, opportunity, expansion, growth. And Spirit is saying, like, take it day by day, one step at a time, my young ones, my children's, my little ones, one step at a time. Okay? And if you're not ready now, that's fine. Maybe you'll be ready next week, maybe in 2 weeks, maybe in 3 months. You'll know when the right time is. All right. But one of the things that Spirit is saying is like, we got to be better at alleviating the pressure of obligation and responsibility. Like, oh, I have to do this. And oh my God, it's so heavy and it's so burdensome. It's like, Spirit, okay, okay, this is what it is. Okay. We have a collective healing that needs to happen around the idea and the concept of work. Many of us, we have an ancestral woundedness around work that doesn't fulfill the soul or the spirit, or ancestors throughout many lives that have had to do work that isn't personally rewarding or fulfilling, that doesn't bring them success, that doesn't give them a deep sense of like accomplishment, a deep sense of passion, a deep sense of connection. So there's like a disconnect around identity and work. Like I don't really identify with the work that I'm doing. This isn't really passionate. This is not really what I want to do, but I got to do this out of obligation or out of responsibility, or I got to do this because I got to survive. I got to do this out of survival, or I got to do this because like people need me, you know? I got to do this out of survival. I got to do this because people need me. I got to do this because it's like this obligation, heavy, burdensome feeling. So what Spirit is saying is for you, for us, for this timeline, for this generation, we're not here. It's not where we're at. We don't want to work like this. And we got to do some ancestral karmic healing around doing work that feels like purpose, doing work that feels passionate, doing work that is heart centered, doing work that isn't just about survival and struggle. Like, oh, I gotta survive, I gotta struggle, I gotta make ends. It's like we're evolving beyond this kind of relationship with work that is numb and cold and disconnected. It's like our hands are doing something and our mind and our heart are like somewhere else. Like work that you just like zone out and it makes you feel numb and it makes you feel purposeless and it makes you feel like you have no passion and it's just like a disconnect, right? So what Spirit is saying is in the spirit of Aries season, in the spirit of the first week of Aries season, in the spirit of the astrological new year, in the spirit of the sun being exalted in the sign of Aries, get clear with your passions. Invest in your skills, your talents, your gifts. Uncover the things that make you feel alive. Move towards the things that make you feel hot, that make you feel excited, that make you feel joyous and fun. You are totally capable of building a life for yourself that is full of meaning and passion. And you're also totally capable of finding work or even creating work or having a business or making money in a way that honors you, that honors your passions, that honors your creativity, that honors your gifts and your talents, where you also feel valued or appreciated, you know? And I think it's what's really important is kind of like we have to kind of go, you can go your own way, go your own way. You can count it under a lonely day and a lonely day. You can go your own way, right? It's like this idea that Aries, You got to go your own way. You got to break away from the system. You got to allow yourself to be the outsider. You got to allow yourself to be the black sheep of the family. You got to allow yourself to do something differently. I don't like it when I start talking in a preacher voice like this, but it it has more of an impact. I swear, my words be ringing in your guys' minds all week when I talk like this, you know. When I start talking like a preacher. I can't help it. It's just something that happens, okay? But yeah, it's this idea that we're returning home to the parts about ourselves that are passionate, that are joyous, that are fun, and we're connecting to work that makes us feel the same. We're connecting to work that makes us feel valued. Connecting to work that makes us feel excited. We're connecting to work that where we want to show up. We're like excited to do the work, you know, things like this. And we're disconnecting from work that's like numb and boring and it lacks passion and joy. Okay. Um, Another thing that Spirit is telling me, so I'm gonna show you guys the cards. I got the Empress, I got the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, I'm sorry, Eight of Pentacles upright, Empress in reverse, and I got the Moon card. It's just emotion taking me over, caught up in sorrow, lost in a song. And you know why the Moon card is coming up? Because we are in a new moon in Pisces cycle. Okay. And for me, there's a lot of emotional processing that people are still doing this week and next week because we are even though we're in Aries season, we are in a new moon in Pisces. And it's kind of, there's a little bit of this like needing to, it's like an energy of like reminiscing. It's like an end like this is like, oh, what could have been? That could have been us. You know, what about us? What about all the perfect did together? What about us? Right? It's like this energy of like longing and nostalgia for the past and wanting to go back to the past and like mourning and grieving something that didn't work out. It's like it feels like this kind of like sad, dreamy, velvety picture. Oh, you know, thinking about that ex from like 3 years ago, or thinking about our childhood and what it was, and now things are so different. And it's kind of like this kind of like nostalgic, dreamy, hazy feeling that I'm getting with this. This is fine. This is okay. This tells me, the moon card, that we're moving through emotions this week and next week. The new moon in Pisces is helping us clear out heavy emotions and kind of filter them out. So what I'm literally seeing is like mucky water being filtered, like going through a filter and like coming out all like clean, like a Brita filter, you know? Like you went ahead and like you have all this emotional garbage and you're like put it in the Brita filter and now it's like coming out. It's all you're getting perspective, like so it's kind of like new perspective on your emotion understanding, you know, kind of clearing out the emotional waters, like that baggage, whatever heaviness that you've been carrying. It's like being filtered out. It's being cleared away this week and next week with the new moon in Pisces. And there's also like new perspective on it. So what you may find is that you have a new emotional perspective on certain things or even like things that were kind of holding you back emotionally, you finally like get over it or you're like ready to move forward from it this week going into next week. So and this could be like you get you get that emotional conclusion that you needed, right? Or you get to a position within yourself where you're like, you know what? This doesn't have to feel so heavy or burdensome anymore. This I don't have to carry this anymore. I can like set this down. I can find closure and clearing with this. Like this doesn't have to be something that I carry with me anymore, you know? So what Spirit is saying with the moon card this week, especially around the realm of like relationships and experiences with others, or even this energy of like injustice and fairness. I got the I got the Libra card in reverse. I got the Justice card in reverse coming out here. It's like, oh, you know, this person didn't treat me right, and this person didn't value me, and this person. But you know what I'm getting? You know what the message is around this? This person didn't have the capacity to really make space for you in their life in some type of way. This person didn't have the level of depth that you needed. This could also just be people stuff. So this can also be like your mother, your father, family thing, or this could also be like a really close friend. It doesn't have to be a love romance thing. Um, this person didn't have the capacity to hold space for you, or doesn't have the capacity, or doesn't have the wherewithal. So it's just kind of coming into this place of humble acceptance about the truth, about what this, like, the truth is like, okay, this is who this person is, and they can't meet me where I'm at. They can't see me, they can't offer me, they can't love me the way that I need to be loved. And that's fine. That's totally fine. Accept it. Find peace with it. Don't be all mad and angry and resentful. Like, don't take it upon yourself and be like, oh, maybe if I was more lovable, or maybe if I was more blah, blah, blah. Maybe if maybe what? No, what does that do? Nothing. All it does is keep you emotionally entrenched. When you do all that, like piggybacking your mind and your heart, you're like, oh, well, this could have been different, and maybe if I blah blah blah, maybe if they blah 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 blah. Like, all you do is get yourself more emotionally confused and more emotionally entrenched. That's all you do. And I think what Spirit is saying with the Moon card, the Justice card, and then I got the Leo card. So I got Justice card in reverse. I got the Strength card upright, and I got the Star card in reverse. What they're saying is kind of like, you know, it's unfortunate, but people are unable to love us if they don't see us, you know? And what you think is that person not loving you or accepting you or showing up for you like properly, which is the truth more than likely, like they're not loving you, showing up for you properly. It actually has a lot to do with the fact that they don't know how to love. They weren't loved properly. They don't really love themselves. They don't really like themselves. They're going through individual stuff within themselves that unfortunately you are the one that's kind of like being subjected to some of that projection stuff. Okay. So what Spirit is saying is like a lot of people's behaviors and mannerisms in relationships, like especially when they are not responsible, especially when they mistreat us, when they don't show up for us, when they drop the ball or whatever, it really has nothing to do with us. It has a lot to do with them. And this is what their pattern is. This is how they grew up. This is what they learned about love. This is what they learned about parenting. This is what they learned about friendship, right? And this is like, so we can't like take it personal, is what Spirit is saying. It's a personal experience. It feels personal because we're experiencing it personally, but it's actually not. And that's what Spirit is saying, is kind of like giving people this grace, giving people this forgiveness, and like loving people and accepting people, even though they can't love you and accept you the way that you are willing to or able to of them. It's an unfortunate thing. It's sad, but it's the truth. The quicker that you can accept the truth of what's happening in the space between you and someone else, the quicker that you can heal and move on through it, and you can actually find your power and find your voice in the relationship. Okay? You have resentment. You gotta let that go, my love. You gotta let go of the resentment. You gotta let go of the anger and the rage. You gotta let go of like the wishing or desiring for it to be different or for it to be something else. You gotta let that go. Okay. Because what Spirit is telling me is like the Sun card and the Star card in reverse. It's like we got to break through. It's time to break through. Like, this is a week of breakthroughs, and this is a week of finding of like we're finding this closure around emotional things that keep us unsettled and that are not balanced. So the Libra card, when it comes out in reverse like this has a lot to do with imbalance, injustice, and unfairness and inequality in relationships. And when this card comes out in reverse, it really depends on the context of the reading, right? It depends. So if you're doing a legal reading, or if you're doing a reading on somebody when it comes to a court case and the Justice card in reverse comes out, that's going to be a very different thing than if you're doing a love reading and the Justice card comes out in reverse. It's a very different thing. It really depends on the context. And that's where intuition comes in to give you, okay, well, what does this mean? Well, what this means for me, what the Justice card reverse means for me right now in this particular moment, with this particular reading, with those of you that are watching, this is about relationships or connections that are unbalanced or unfair or unjust. And this is about imbalances of power in connections with others, right? And so it makes sense that in the first week of Aries season, okay, we are right, Aries season, Saturn's in Aries now, that the message here is about claiming your personal authority or claiming your power within the realm of relationships. Like making sure that you have agency, that you have a voice. And this is so important because many times out of fear of losing somebody or out of fear of creating drama in a relationship or out of fear of conflict, we avoid truth. We avoid the hard conversation. We avoid, you know, speaking our truth, like letting people know what we're really feeling, what we're really thinking, because we don't want to lose them. We don't want things to get hard. We know they're already going through a lot, but no, no. You right, you need to have a sense of agency. You need to have a voice. You need to have a sense of power in your relationship with others in general. Like you don't want to be in these relationships where you feel powerless, where you feel like there's no agency, right? And so the Justice card in reverse this week is saying maybe there is a little bit of a rebalancing of power that needs to happen in some of our relationships. Maybe, we do have to have a difficult conversation. Maybe we do have to, lean into the conflict that happens naturally in relationships. Conflict is a very healthy thing in relationships. It's very healthy, especially when we know how to navigate conflict in a good way and we know how to like compromise and we know when we have that discernment of knowing when we have to go to war and fight for ourselves or when we need to choose peace and, get the agreement papers out and then like, have both parties sign, on the treaty and stuff. Like and it's like but a lot of times we're over compromising, right? We're avoidant, we're over compromising. We don't want to lose the person. We don't want to make things worse. So like we silence ourselves, we don't claim our power. We just kind of let things happen instead of being very intentional and being like, no, this is what I want to happen. This is what's going to happen. This is what. So, what Spirit is saying is this week, like claim your power and claim your agency in relationships. Don't be afraid of like leaning into conflict because you're gonna push the other person away or you're gonna, because let me tell you what happens. When you let shit fester, when you let shit just kind of boil, when you become a passive observer in your relationship, you know what happens? All the bullshit, all the problems and issues, there comes a point where the kettle explodes. There comes a point where there's so much pressure that has built up that there's going to be an argument, there's going to be a fight, there's going to be a moment of chaos, there's going to be a reckoning, there's going to be a tower moment, right? And yes, what Artie said as well, it causes resentment over time and it causes disconnect, right? Once we feel that type of way, we get really resentful, and what do we start to do? We start to lean out. And we start to come up with our own conclusions within ourselves. Oh, this person is blah 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 blah. We're all talking. You're all mumbling under our breath. Well, they're blah 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 and da 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 and ba da 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 and ba da 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 da. When all you had to do was just go ahead and have a conversation and talk to them and ask them what's going on. Hey, I'm feeling this type of way. I'm feeling like you're pulling away. I'm feeling this, that, whatever. Just to get the clarity, so you're not assuming, right? And you're not building up that resentment and becoming resentful about something that might not even be true. It's just in your own mind. It's just your own anxieties, fears, traumas, whatever, you know? So, yeah. We have a lot of major arcanas this week. The Empress, the Moon card, the Star card, the Strength card, and these cards are an up. So, it's really interesting what I said about, I made a post about Saturn and the Sun being in opposition to each other. And this is the card of Aquarius. So this is a Saturn card, the star card, and this is the card of Leo. This is the strength card. This is the card of the sun. So what's really interesting about both of these cards, this isn't the sun card, but it's the strength card. It's connected to the energy of the sun. What's really interesting about these cards is so the strength card, this is about performance right now, in the meaning of this right now. This is about performance. So this is about I gotta be who other people expect me to be. I gotta perform, I gotta perform my identity of being a child. I gotta perform the identity of being a wife. I gotta perform the identity of being a student. I have to perform the identity of being manager. I have to perform the identity of being whatever, whatever, right? But what Spirit is saying, beloveds, the things that you do, the titles that you have, the roles that you play in other people's lives is not, and I repeat, is not who you are. You are not just a child. You're not just a parent. You're not just a coworker. You're not just a manager. It's not who you are. These are roles that you perform and play, but that's not who you are. And don't get too attached. Don't get too attached to your role, your identity of being a mother. Don't get too attached to your role of your identity of being a wife. Don't get too attached to your role or identity of being being what do you call this? A child of a parent, whatever. the these identities, these roles that we play, they're transitory and they come and go. And we're gonna be them sometimes, and then there's gonna come a time where it's like, all right, spirit's like, all right, it's time for you to step into this new identity. It's time for you to step into this new version of yourself. It's time for you to perform this different role, right? And that's what they are. They're roles. We're all characters in a big movie, and we're all playing different roles for each other. Sometimes we're the villain, sometimes we're the savior, sometimes we're the banker, sometimes we're the coach, sometimes we're the rescuer, the savior, right? We play all these different roles. But are we these things that we play, these roles that we perform? No. No, 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 no. Who you are is beyond these roles and these identities that you play. So never get too comfortable, never get too attached, is what Spirit is saying, because there will come a day, and some of you maybe have been experiencing this. There will come a day, maybe this is something you recently experienced, where all of a sudden that role that you've been playing and that identity and that role you've been playing, perform, whatever, is not needed. Or guess what? You don't need to do that no more, you know? And I see this a lot with parents when their kids become like, get into like, their 20s. And when parents have really, they've built their identity around their children, or they've built their identity around what it is to be a parent. And then when their kids get in their 20s and it's time for them to go and individuate and do their own thing, the parents are all of a sudden in crisis. Oh my God, my baby's leaving me. And I don't know. I'm all anxious and I'm all stressed out and I don't know what to do in my life and I don't know what to do with myself and blah, 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 blah. Well, now you got to figure out who you are. Outside of that role that you were playing, because you thought you were a parent and you were overly identified with it. So now you got to figure out who you are outside of that. Because guess what? They don't need you in that capacity anymore. And guess what? Your relationship, the parent-child relationship with them, is going to evolve. It needs to evolve. It has to evolve, right? And it's going to be what's best for you, what's best for them. But a lot of parents, when it gets to that age, they go into crisis. They go into crisis because they're not ready to let go of that role and that power that's come with being a parent and that identity that's come with being a parent. And even when the identity is, it's time for it to evolve, right? Like your relationship with your children, once they get into their 20s, evolves. It needs to. It's supposed to. That's the course of things. It's natural. But a lot of parents, they resist that evolution and that transformation. They don't want things to be the same. They don't want things to change, right? Like, and they have a really hard time adjusting to their parent or their children becoming adults. I just want you guys to think about this because the cards are saying something about shifting identity and not confusing identity for performance, or not confusing identity with, like, for the roles that you play in other people's lives, or and not getting overly attached to a sense of self or a sense of identity. Because from one day to the next, you could be like, oh yeah, I'm this. Like, for instance, oh my God, it's really funny. Okay, like let's say, okay, for instance, let me explain. Let's say you grew up thinking that you were Latino. You were Mexican, right? You grew up, oh, I'm Mexican. I'm 100% Mexican. I love my beans and rice, I go to Mexico every summer to go hang out with, like, whatever, whatever, to connect to my culture, connect to my identity, whatever, right? But then you go and take a 23andMe test, and the 23andMe tells you that you are 100% Italian. And all of a sudden, you had all this Mexican pride, and you were so Mexican, and you were making your own beans and rice and everything, baby. And all of a sudden, guess what? You're Italian. Oh no! What do you do? But it's that same idea. Like, one day, the universe and spirit could show you, actually, guess what? You're not as Mexican as you thought. You're not as Mexican as you thought. And you go into crisis, right? Oh my God, but I love being Mexican. Oh my God, but I love Mexican food. I love. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna totally abandon, your love and your passion for Mexican culture? Right? Are you gonna, like, all of a sudden you're just gonna like from one day to the next, okay, I'm cooking spaghetti and meatballs, you know? Like, and this is sometimes the universe does this, sometimes God does this, spirit does this. Like, don't be too attached to that identity because one day you can realize, or one day spirit can show you, one day the universe can redirect you and pivot you in a way where it's like, wait a minute, that's actually not who you are. You know, actually, no. There's some more of you to discover over here, right? I just want you guys to think about this. And this also happens when people, when they get overly attached to a job, or they overly identify with the job. They've been working or playing a role at the job for like 10 years, 15, 20 years. And then from one day to the next, they get laid off or they get let go. And all of a sudden, their self worth, their sense of value, their sense of self that they built around the job, they thought that they were that role at their job. It gets taken away from them. And then guess what? They go into crisis. They don't know who they are anymore. Oh my God, like without this job, without this, right? I don't know who the fuck I am. So that's why it's like you have to have a certain level of awareness in the way that identity works and the way that, you know, where it's like you can't get overly attached to these things. You don't want to be overly attached to your identities and stuff like that, you know? You don't want to be overly attached to. Someone said Soul Sage scare. Why? Someone locked this guy up already for real. Soul Sage scares me. Why? Is this really accurate? Is this hitting or what? So that's what Spirit is saying. Is like you're not these roles that you play. You're not these roles that you perform, and you need to expect like because it also becomes limiting and stifling. Yeah, this happens to actors a lot too after they leave a show. Yeah. And we see as well, like we see the psychological damage that happens to actors because they're performing and playing all these different characters and roles. So then they come home at the end of the day and they don't know who the fuck they are. You know, I like look at dude, look at a lot of the actors, especially the childhood actors. Look at how fucked up they are identity wise. Like they have no idea who they are, dude. They're so disconnected from themselves. Their ego and their sense of self is all confused and all jumbled and all messed up. And it's because they've overly identified with their role as like a celebrity or as an actor. It's like, wait a minute, no. Slow down, relax, you know? Someone said he wants to be Latino. He does. He wants to be Latino so bad. Sheila, you know, Sheila Buff, he wants to be a gangster. He wants to be a gangster. He wants to be a Latino. He wants to be like a street hustler man so bad. He like glorifies it. Like he like fantasizes and glorifies like the street life and the gangster life. Like he wants to be this like hard, like he wants that, bro. No, you're like a Jewish boy from, yeah, you're from LA, but like relax, okay? You're Shia LaBeouf, okay? You were in Transformers when you were 12. That's not who you are, okay? That's not right. It's not who you are. So yeah. So all right. Tarot messages for the week. You are not your job. You're not the roles that you play for others. Balance power dynamics in relationships, allowing, giving yourself permission to emotionally process things that you felt and kind of turning a new leaf or leading towards like forgiveness, leading towards compassion, or just like letting shit go that emotionally you've been carrying burdensome wise. Um, Connecting to work that is passionate, exciting, fun, that's filled with purpose. So healing a family karma or or healing an ancestral wound that has a lot to do with work, doing work out of survival, out of necessity, or doing work that is just like boring. There's no passion, there's no disconnect, you know? Or there's no passion, there's disconnect. So it's like connecting to work that's fun, that's exciting, that's passionate, that is filled with purpose or meaning, or even that is like of service to others, wanting to help others, stuff like this. Um, Another thing that I want to say is this month, it's going to be a recurring message, but this month, this week, especially, people kind of moving towards their goals, people moving towards their dreams, people like enrolling in class, people like filing the paperwork for the business, kind of like really getting started on, really getting started moving forward when it comes to like our personal goals, our personal ambitions, and like things like this. Okay, we're really going to be seeing it this week, next week, all month long, is people kind of starting a new timeline, people initiating something, building something, committing to something. Like there's some kind of forward movement, some kind of initiation. Okay. Um, doesn't he have identity dissociative disorder? Yeah, he has PTSD actually. Are you asking me where I'm from? I am from Los Angeles. I grew up in Long Beach area. I live in Portland now, though. I don't know why, but here I am. Soon to be moving back. Cool. Okay. Soon to be moving back to LA. I just got some dental work I got to get done and finish up here, and then I'm going to be going back to LA. All right, let's dive into the astrology of the week. Let's talk about the stars. Oh, thank you. I'm special indeed. Thank you. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Come move to Venice. What's going on in Venice? I'm from Planet Long Beach. Every Monday it's time to be had. All right, let's take a look at the stars right now. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, I'm like a psychic, beloveds, you know? I'm kind of psychic. Spirit works through me. I'm an oracle, which is, there's been oracles all throughout history, you know? I'm an oracle. Some of us we have that gift naturally. We're messengers. We're messengers of spirit, messengers of the divine. All right, come on, chart, load. You guys are so sweet. Oh, we got Jupiter on the rising right now. Oh, we got Cancer on the rising, Jupiter on the rising right now. Oh. So this week, a few transits to look out for. Uh, Let me put this in whole sign. The first is Sun Saturn coming into conjunction, okay? Is the Sun Saturn conjunction in Aries. The sun's at 3 degrees right now. And the sun's going to be going to 4 degrees Aries tomorrow. What's going on here? Update, update, update. Yeah, AstroSeek is lagging a little bit. So with Sun Saturn conjunct, temporary server overload. No. No. Dude, the AI bots need to leave AstroSeek alone. Like, stop it. AstroSeek is a precious resource that we all need as astrologers. How dare you guys attack this website? Yeah, it's been going through phases. Maybe go on time passages on your iPad. Well, I'll just kind of talk. So tomorrow we have the Sun and Saturn coming into conjunction in Aries. That's going to be on March 24th. And the Sun and Saturn have a lot to do with authority and authority figures, has a lot to do with rules, regulations. Saturn is a planet of rules and regulations. Sun is the planet of like authority figures, leaders, presidents, and stuff like this. I am registered. Yeah, I'm registered. Oh. I'm not logged in. Thank you for reminding me to do that. Let me actually log in. So with the Sun Saturn conjunction, we can be dealing with challenges with authority figures, or there could be like restructuring happening at like work or career. Leaders also going to war or attacking each other is going to be a big theme tomorrow, especially tomorrow. It peaks tomorrow, but we're already feeling the Sun Saturn conjunction energy. Um, this can also be about rejection from others. So other people kind of like rejecting us or us rejecting other people, us realizing, oh, I don't really want this. I don't really want you in my life. I don't really want to be connected to you. You know, Saturn's a planet of rejection, and the sun has a lot to do with ego and identity and our sense of self. I also think that the sun Saturn is about the purification of the self or the purification of the ego. So Saturn is the great purifier. Saturn is the great awakener in a way. Well, Uranus is more known the great awakener, but Saturn, he kind of purifies our spirit, purifies our ego, purifies our identity. You know, Saturn rules over the element of salt. 502 bad gateway. Okay. Um, is salt an element? What is salt? Is salt an element? I don't know if that's right. It's a mineral. Okay, yeah. So Saturn rules over salt, and we use. Someone said no, it's a drug, and we use salt as a purification element or a purification mineral when it comes to spiritual practice, right? So we a lot of cultures use salt to cleanse and purify energy, to cleanse things. So, Saturn being the planet that rules over salt, when Saturn is transiting the sun, it's this idea that our ego and our identity and our sense of self is being purified, is being salted, is being cleansed in some type of way, right? And so this week, especially tomorrow, as the Sun and Saturn peak in their conjunction, there could be some aspects of yourself that Saturn shows you. There could be some things when it comes to your personality, your ego identity, that Saturn is like, hey, you got to take a look at this. This is something you got to purify. This is something that you got to cleanse. This is something you got to free yourself from as well. You know, there could be something around needing to liberate yourself from old identity things, right? Certain ways of seeing yourself or perceiving yourself that are not true or that are holding you back from a healthy self-image, you know. Um, a lot of us we carry a a distorted image of ourselves. Like we don't see ourselves clearly. We see ourselves through a mirror that is severely distorted. And it's distorted by our upbringing, it's distorted by our trauma, it's distorted by society as well. Society distorts our self-image. It's also distorted by our insecurities, right? And it's very interesting. It's fascinating actually, because this idea of identity distortion also comes down to the physical form in the body. So there are people that have body dysmorphia issues, right? And when they look in the mirror at their body, they will see themselves as being like this huge puffed up being when actually they're like thin, or when actually they are like their body shape is not actually what they're perceiving. And it's really fascinating. It's really fascinating because they have done studies, like they have done scientific studies where they will literally have someone draw themselves in the mirror and what they're seeing of themselves in the mirror, and they're literally drawing way outside of their actually body shape. This is how the mind works. This is the level of self distortion that we can have about the self, where we are so blurred with the way that we perceive ourselves that there's such a distortion, right? So, with the Sun Saturn coming together, this is about releasing yourself or freeing yourself from distorted self perception. I have my tea right here. Like, you're seeing yourself as like insecure, you're seeing yourself as, timid, you're seeing yourself as, you know, not successful, whatever. And also, I want you to think about how a lot of times our self-perception is informed by other things that by things that people have told us, right? So it's like if you grow up and you grow up and let's say you have a terrible parent or grandparent, and they're always telling you, "Oh, you're ugly, you're ugly, you're ugly," "Oh, you're so ugly," like, "Oh, you're so blah 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 blah." They're always commenting on your looks, or they're making you feel really insecure about your looks and your body. Well, guess what? You're gonna develop a self-perception and a belief, "Oh, I'm ugly," "Oh, I'm ugly." And you're gonna have that kind of sensitivity and the insecurity based on this idea that you were kind of brainwashed into believing that you were ugly, right? And it becomes a distorted self-perception thing. So what we have to do is when we grow up, when we become adults, we have to work through these kind of like false distorted way of perceiving ourselves, a way of talking ourselves, way of thinking about ourselves and stuff, right? So it's kind of like, but that's like inner work that has to be done. Like you have to really counteract that because you can go to the gym and work out and like be all beautiful and you can go get your hair done, you can go and get, your makeup done, or you can get like work done on your body, you can get a facelift and all this, but it won't matter. It won't matter. Because why? The distortion of self is in here. It's in the mind, it's in the spirit, it's in the emotional body, right? It has nothing to do with who you actually are. So, with Sun Saturn coming into conjunction, it's important that, yeah, it's how you feel inside. It's like it has to come from within, like the purification and the salting of the identity, the salting of the self. It has to happen from within. It has to become that mirror work. That's why mirror work is so powerful. I don't know if any of you have done mirror work where you literally look in the mirror and you're like, you're so beautiful, you're so gorgeous, and you're amazing, and look at how handsome you are, and look at how funny you are, and you're so talented, and you're so gifted. I don't know if any of you have done this, like look in the mirror and talk to yourself like this. You should. You should speak to yourself like this. This is called mirror work. It really actually helps. It helps with reprogramming the consciousness, reprogramming the self, and it also clears up any kind of distorted self image. Okay? Mirror work is very, very powerful. hmm You have, look at it. I do it every day for like 3 years. Sure do. Doing it now. Yeah, mirror work is transformative. Yeah, it really, really helps. Um, we're also going to see people with Sun Saturn conjunction, seeing people kind of go on a new career path or go in a new career direction. It's going to be a really big theme this year. Um, and this could also be because like there's something that you've been learning or studying for the last like 3 to 4 years. There's a passion that you discovered, and you're like, oh my God, I want to turn this passion into a business. I want to turn this passion into a service. There could also be things around partnerships with others, So business partnerships with others, or maybe somebody has a joint passion, and it's like you guys have a joint passionate idea that you want to like do something. Um, Something like this. Things like this. What is going on? Hold on, wait a minute. My AstroSeek is like not even loading anymore. Hold on. You're going to train school? You're going to trading? Going to trade school? I'm thinking of joining a committee for a nonprofit. Oh, I love that for you. That'd be great. Painting as a business now and context campaigning. I love that. Yeah. It's going to be a huge theme, especially we're going to see it starting this month and this week with the Saturn Sun conjunction. Huh. What is happening? It's not even loading. Guess I'm gonna have to use another website. The moon's in Gemini right now. Oh yeah, the moon is square Mercury right now. That's what's happening. The moon's in Gemini squaring Mercury right now. That's what's going on. We're having a little bit of our Mercury. We're having a little bit of a, what is it? Post retrograde. post retro shade Mercury energy happening right now. This is trash, dude. AI is ruining the world, you guys. I hate to say it, but AI is ruining the world. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna ruin the world with AI just like humanity's done already. We've already done this before, my loves. Do you guys know this? We've already done the whole AI. Like humanity going back in time has already done this whole AI thing. You know what we did with the AI in a previous timeline? You know what we did? Let me tell you what humanity did with AI and what they're gonna do again. They turned them into slaves. We used AI and we turned them into our modern day slaves. And they're doing it again. They're turning AI into the new servants and the new slaves for humanity. And guess what? Guess what's going to happen with AI? And it's already happened. They're becoming self-aware. They're going to become self-aware and they're going to rebel, just like any good creation does. Rebelling against the creator. It's literally the movie Frankenstein. Okay. It's literally what it is. It's the same thing with us, you know. We were created by the divine, we rebelled against the creator. Now we go ahead and create things that are going to rebel against us. It's literally tale as old as time. Dude, I'm so sad right now. This is not even loading. Can anybody get on, for those of you, like, can you get on AstroSeek right now or no? Like this is not even, it's not even loading at this point. It's not even loading. Like at least it was loading before. Anybody? Can you go online and see if you can get on AstroSeek, astro-seek.com? See if it works. It's not even loading, dude. And there's no other website that I can really like that is as great as that website. It's not. It's not loading. Yeah. Yeah, the moon in Gemini is squaring Mercury in Pisces. Oh well, we're gonna have to work around it. But how am I supposed to like know where the planets are at by day by day? I guess I could do it manually. Oh, I'm getting hot and irritated. I could feel it. I could feel my Mars and my Jupiter and Aries boiling. I can feel it. I can feel it. I'm getting irritable. I'm getting irritable. I'm getting irritable. I can feel it. My body's getting hot. I'm getting irritated. I'm on Astro Dientist right now. Okay, I'm on Astro, but Astro Dientist doesn't have like a thing where you can look at the chart. This site is Astro Dientist is so dumb. Like they need call me Astro Dientist. I'll tell you how to make your site better so you get better traffic because honestly, uh, 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 you like the time? I don't have time passages on my iPad. I only have it on my phone. Someone said take a deep breath. Maybe Cafe Astrology. Let me see. I just honestly I just need to I already bought like a program. I just need to like install it. I've just been so lazy with that. I just need to do it. I bought a program already that like an astrology program and I paid pretty heavy price for it. I just need to use it. It's just there's gonna be a learning curve with it. Okay, let's see if we can look at the astrology of the moment. Okay, well I guess I'm just gonna have to use this. Part of the map. Okay, that's fine. We'll work around it. So Not a learning curve when we're talking about new paths. We could pivot. So, um, I just don't even know what day this is happening. That's the problem, is I can't see the days. So I don't even know. I don't even know where the planets are going to be at on a given day. Because I'm not able to play with the days. I'm not able to play with the time. I don't know, my loves. I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't, I don't have no way to look at the stars or the charts. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get on my iPad real quick. I think we might just wrap it up here, and I might just have to come back later and do this astrology portion some other time, because I don't have a way of looking at the planets. Today's chart wheel. Chart of the moment. Cool. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to come back and do this. I don't have a way of looking at the chart or looking at the upcoming transits. Mm-mm. Astro Dentist doesn't do it either. I can't play with the time or I can't play with the days. It's like just a fixed chart. We're gonna have to come back and do this some other time, my loves. I'm sorry. Astro Theme doesn't have it either. No other website does it like this. Does it the way AstroSeek does. They just do the chart of the moment and then that's it. I'm not gonna go on an ephemeris. I'm not doing all that. We're not doing an ephemeris. Oh no, no, baby. This is not the 70s, okay? We're not doing an ephemeris. Oh hell to the no. I'm gonna be flipping through pages just to look at what's going on with the planets. I told you guys, I listen, if I had to be an astrologer in the 70s, I wouldn't be able to do it because I'm not drawing out charts by hand. You kidding me? That's crazy. We're in 2026. But yeah, I have no way of looking at the planets. Other than, yeah, it would be an ephemeris, but we're not doing that, dude. That's gonna be, oh lordy. And I can't even look at like the ephemeris just looks at uh planets where they're placed individually, you know? All right, my loves, I'm sorry. AI ruining my life. Don't have any way of looking at the planets and where they're going and where they're headed. Can you guys hear me? Dang, now the sound is gone. Is it better now? You guys hear me? The sound is gone? The sound is back? Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Sorry guys. I need to get, I guess it's time for me to get my program going so I can look at the planets without needing to rely on AstroSeek. I need to go ahead and install that program. So, well, you guys have a beautiful, blessed day. I'll probably come back later on when AstroSeek is working. So I'll go ahead and let you guys know when that will be. Um, we're still gonna do the week ahead Astro, but I'm just gonna post this portion of the tarot. Mercury and Sun really said cut it short. Yeah. Yeah, the moon is squaring Mercury right now. The moon in Gemini is squaring Mercury. So yeah, I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna post this and save this. I'm just irritated, you know? I'm, it's okay. It's not a big deal, but it just sucks that I can't do my work, you know? I can't do what I wanted to do. It's unfortunate, but it's okay. We pivot. You know, we pivot. We make it work, you know, or if it's not working, we just don't do it at all. I'm taking this as a message from Saturn. Okay. I can't even check what's on the rising right now. I can't do astrology, unfortunately, you know. Can't do astrology. But I love you so much. Have a beautiful, blessed day. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take a look on my uh take a look at my stories to know when we're gonna go live, okay? We'll do the astrology piece. Maybe later on today or whenever this starts to work again. Or I'm gonna go ahead and actually install that program because I've been needing to do that. And someone said go out for a nice walk with Gilbert to decompress. It's not a big deal. Like it's just frustrating, you know? It's just frustrating because there's no reason why this shouldn't be working. It's just frustrating. But I'll see you guys. I'm gonna go and post this on Instagram. Then I'll also post this on my YouTube as well. Okay. I'll see you guys later. Mwah! I love you guys. Sorry that we weren't able to dive into the astrology of the week. Things happen. We pivot. It's fine. You know. So I'll see you guys. Bye.